All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is Shalom from the Great Millstone Atlanta Camp. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Hakwadash. Double honor to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace, love, and safety to the hopeful elect. And I just want to go into this 1948 Arab-Israel, shall I say Israeli war. It started before the Balfour Declaration, but it was based off of the Palestinians and the so-called Jewish people fight over territory. Okay, which of course we know neither one of them belonged in that land. That land was pretty much, after 70 A.D. when Rome came and invaded. The true Israelites or the true Jews were ran out of that land, and the scriptures told them. The scripture said that they was actually Yahweh Shai said flee into the mountains. Of course, this was shortly after Yahweh Shai was resurrected and went into the kingdom. The Slaki went into the chariot to heaven. All right, to the heavens. So, just want to go over this real quick because I didn't really know all of this went on around that time. I was just doing some reading on it and decided to do a lesson on it. So this is a 1948 Arab-Israeli war. It says I'm just gonna go to the main points. Right here in the middle, it says the Civil War became a war of separate states with the Israeli Declaration of Independence on the 14th of May, 1948. The end of the British mandate for Palestine. So there was a British mandate for Palestine, I guess, protecting them in certain territories in the area. It said at midnight, and the entry of a military coalition of Arab states into the territory mandatory Palestine the following morning. The war formally ended in 1949. So let me go down because, of course, we know the Balfour Declarations when Israel was declared a state. They actually happened before the war ended. So it seems like the UN kind of invaded and said, yeah, we're going to declare you as a state. This is your land before the war even ended. It says since the 1917 Balfour Declaration of the 1920 creation of the British Mandate of Palestine and the context Zionism and the mass immigration of European Jews to Palestine. So these people came from Europe. They goes to show you that they weren't even supposed to be in that land. These are Edomites. This is Amalek. All right, Amalek is the grandson of Esau. So they came down from different areas in Europe and came down to take over their territory. It says there had been tensions and conflicts between Arabs, Jews, and British Palestine. The conflict escalated into a civil war on 30th November 1947, the day after the United Nations adopted partition plans for Palestine, proposing a divide of the territory into an Arab state and Jewish state for an international administrated corpus separium for the cities of Jerusalem and Bethlehem. So you had two of the main cities of the Jews, or the real Jews, and you had the Palestinians, and then you had the Amalek, or the Jewish people, come down and basically invaded. So they actually won the war. It says the civil war began with attacks by Palestinian militants and mobs on the Jewish area as a reaction to the UN partition plan vote as the two communities battled. The British withdrew in April 1948. Zionist forces launched an offensive what is a cunning name, code name, Slakia, code name plan Dalet, during which they conquered and depopulated cities, villages, territories, and mandatory Palestine in the preparation of the establishment of a Jewish state. So yeah, they came down from Europe, went down, pretty much took over the territory, started a war, and that's how they got the land. That's how the Balfour Declaration of 1948 was established. All right. So that was pretty much the main point. I want to get some scriptures. Okay, the first scripture I want to get is Joel chapter 3. And let's start with verse 4. It says, yea. Oh, I didn't read the part where all of these, it was certain North African, including Egypt, certain areas that also that was involved in that war. So it was different nations, different types of people involved in that territory being divided. Joel chapter 3 and verse 4, it says, yea, and what ye have to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine, will ye render me in a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, I will return your own recompense upon your own head. It says, because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my godly pleasant things. The children of Judah, the children also of Judah, and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians. All right, who are the Grecians? Those were Edomites. Okay, so these other nations took part in the Atlantic slave trade. It says that ye might remove them far from their border. Right. They were pretty much moved from the west coast of Africa. After they was, or should I say, after we were removed from our land and then brought over on slave ships. Now, prior to that, when you read 2nd Esdras chapter 13, the Northern Kingdom had already came over. So the Northern Kingdom was already here. Then Christopher Columbus came and pretty much invaded and wanted to enslave the Northern Kingdom. And shortly after that, you had the Atlantic slave trade. So Esau has really did a number on our people from the beginning. It says, and also these other nations took part in it as well. It says, verse 7, behold, I will raise them out of the place where you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. So yeah, that's why these other nations have to go into slavery. Okay, but when you read down, let me see. Salakia, I meant read up. I should have read this first. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat or Jehoshaphat, which is written. Jehoshaphat is the Lord's judgment, Yahweh's judgment. It says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So that land is going to turn back into the land of Israel for the true Israelites. All right. And it's not just going to be that little section that they call Israel now, the state of Israel. It's going to be that full Fertile Crescent area. And that area is going to be made beautiful again. All right. Let's go to Ezekiel 7 and 24. It says, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. And that's what's going on over there. The holy place has been defiled, not only by blood, but by abominations. And I'm not even going to go into all of that. It's a lot of abomination going on in that area. It's a good reason why the Lord is angry. He's going to come back with the vengeance that he's going to come with. And he said, you're going to know that I am the Lord. You don't know that the Lord is going to bring this. This is going to be something that is going to be way more powerful than anything that you ever heard of when the Lord comes back. All right. And it's going to be done around the time of nuclear destruction. And that nuclear destruction is what's going to destroy America. And the land of Israel also is going to get hit, but it's going to be rebuilt. But America's never going to come back because they've taken part in all of this. Okay. Let me see. Let me see, Ezekiel 36. And in verse 5, it says, therefore said the Lord Yahweh power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. So yeah, the Lord is angry about that. He's angry. The Lord is angry with the whole planet. He's angry with Israel, that his chosen people, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because he set up prophets to tell you and to bring you back to your heritage, and you refuse to listen. Only a small number of people are actually listening. So what is he going to do? He's going to bring more destruction, more earthquakes to your northern kingdom, more bloodshed to you southern kingdom, northern and southern kingdom. It's going to be all out chaos until you finally get your shit together and open your ears. But yeah, that's actually a reward for those that's going to take heed and listen. We're going to be put back in our own land, and it's going to be beautiful. And these heathens are going to serve because they did what they've done. That land has been war torn and just annihilated, and all kind of abominations, everything going on over there. Okay. But I just wanted to put that out there. Prior to the Balfour Declaration, there was a war between Israelis and the Arabs. Okay, so I pray this was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rachakwidash. Double honor to my elders and apostles, great millstone that taught us the truth. Shalom to the elect.